Hi guys, Michael here again for the Tobin project. This barrel is well and truly on its way to being reblued. I haven't been in the shop for a few days, so we've missed out on a bit of action, but I'll explain to you how we do it, and I'll show you how to do the last cycle. So imagine this barrel had come in as you saw it before on the previous videos. Not really much bluing left. So the next step we do is we take it over to the acid bath and we dissolve the old bluing. So this here is our tub of hydrochloric acid. It's filled to the top. Here with acid. The barrels are usually hung on a bit of wire, and then we leave them in the barrel on that bit of steel for maybe only about 10 minutes. Then they're moved over to this one, which is a caustic solution, water and caustic soda in there. We can leave that in there for as long as we want, but usually at least 10 minutes as well. Also got small tubs for small items in the hydrochloric acid and the caustic soda. So the benefit of it is that the bluing, you could just, once you put it in the hydrochloric acid and then over to the caustic, you can just wipe most of the bluing off with a rag. So that gives us a nice service to start on repairing the barrels. So after that, the barrels are sanded with usually 120 grit, then 240 grit, 360 grit or 400 grit. And then they're ready for bluing. We don't need a super polished finish. Oh, actually, after the sanding, it's taken over here to the polishing wheel. So we have a polishing rag on this side. This is a cutting wheel here, and we use a cutting compound on it. It just removes all the last of the scratches from the sandpaper. We don't polish. We just cut on here, and then it's ready for bluing. For the bluing itself, now being in Australia, we don't have access to some of the stuff that other people have. So this is a rust blue solution that we make in-house. It consists of about 30 ml of nitric acid, about 30 ml of hydrochloric acid, about 30 grams of iron filings, and then about 450 ml or a bit less of distilled water. It's applied using it just sparingly with this rag. I'll show you how we do that. So these barrels I have not touched with my hands. I've got gloves on here. I haven't touched them since they've come out of the last boiling cycle because the surface needs to be totally grease free. So this is the beginning of a new cycle. So I apply a small amount of the liquid on here. It's rubbed on the barrels like this. Just not very much at all. You can even really barely see it going on, and it usually flushes off pretty quick. I'll do that all over the whole barrels. And then there's two options. We can leave the gun to rust in the open air, which this time of year, it's summer, it will rust pretty well by tomorrow morning. The other option, if we want to speed up the process, is our humidity chamber. I'll show you that. So this is the humidity chamber. It's just a large cabinet with a psychometric chart on us with some points to tell us how long it takes for things to rust at certain conditions. Inside there is a oil bar heater and an ultrasonic humidifier. They're both controlled on a basic controller here. So at the moment it says it's 30 degrees and 67% humidity in the room. It's going to try and get to 35 degrees and 75% humidity, which results in a rusting time of about 2 to 3 hours. So there you go. It's the humidifier's on, and so is the heater. So it'll be temperature controlled off that thermostat there. So we're at the next morning here in the shop, and we've got a fairly good coating of rust on this barrel. Not too deep. It's actually a bit more than I normally expect for an overnight because we had a very humid night last night. So it's ready to go into the boiling tank, which just consists of boiling water to convert this red oxide into black oxide. So I'll show you the tank. So the barrels are in the trough here, which is just boiling water, like I said. Just a basic propane powered gas burner. So we'll leave the barrels in here for about 5 minutes and then we'll take it out. So these are the barrels out of the tank. They've only just been taken out. The water just flushes off them very quickly. So we'll wait for them to cool down, and then we've got to do a carting cycle on it. So this is the carting wheel. It's just very fine stainless steel wool brush. You can put your finger in it, it doesn't hurt you at all. So we're going to get all the excess bluing off the barrels of the gun using this brush. Just need to get all of the excess off, and we'll be left with the bluing that's left on the steel. So these are the barrels here, unoiled. So all we've done is carted the excess bluing off. Now I'm going to clean the inside of the barrels, which I won't show you. I'm sure you know how to clean shotgun barrels. And then we'll put some oil on the top, and I'll show you what it looks like. This is the barrels here after having oiled them. It's just a generous coating of an oil. We actually make the oil here. It's just 50% automatic transmission fluid and 50% low odor kerosene. It's worth adding that I've just shown you the last iteration of the bluing, the total bluing. It normally takes about 5 to 7 cycles of rusting, boiling, carting, rusting, boiling, carting. So after the last iteration, we then oil, we set the blue. We'll leave it like this for a couple of hours, and I'll take off the excess oil. And thanks for watching. It's all done, the bluing on these barrels. Thanks.